Welcome back to normal baseball. The Astros and Mets are getting hot. The Orioles are sneakily good. And a lot of good baseball has been happening recently. Let's talk about it. What's going on? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Normal Baseball Podcast. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And we are back after a nice weekend of baseball.
Certainly.
A lot of good series going on. A lot of cool storylines. And we are here to talk about all of them. So, first and foremost, what was, in my opinion, the most fun series to watch this weekend? The Mets and Guardians. We're going to go from that series. We're going to talk about a little bit of that. A little bit of Padres Red Sox on the other coast. Some Dodgers Cardinals. We're going to get into it all. The Astros are finally back in. I'm excited for this one. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm ready. No words. A man of little words.
Let's do it.
On a podcast, a man of little words.
I'm excited. Let's jump right into it. The Mets played the Guardians.
Guardians. The Mets, like I said, they're You all right over there?
Yeah,
started creeping towards me. I was like, what are you doing? The Mets are feeling good right now. Obviously, they were a bit shook heading into this week and just recently in general. They've been on not as good as they would hope to be, but they are currently on a 5-game win streak after sweeping the Guardians. Game 1 was one of the most exciting games of the season, I'd argue. The Mets came back from down 5-0. Francisco Alvarez hit a home run. He's been doing really well recently. Brett Beatty homered. He's putting together a nice season so far. And then Pete Alonso hit a grand slam to tie the game at 7. It was electric. They were in Citi Field. It was incredible. And then they went down 9-8 in the 10th inning, and singles from Venitos, Alvarez, and Lindor gave them the walk-off win, 10-9. They won the first game, and then Game 2 got rained out. The Saturday game, they had to do a doubleheader on Sunday, day-night doubleheader, and man, oh man, did they come prepared. Game 1, Max Scherzer, 6 innings pitched, just 3 hits, no earned runs, a walk and 5 strikeouts. They won that game. And in Game 2, Justin Verlander, his first dominant performance as a Met, 8 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, 5 strikeouts. They won that game 2-1 and swept the Guardians. Is this the turning point for the Mets? They're currently 25-23. They're over 500 now, obviously. Is this their turning point?
I don't know. I want to say yes. However, the history of the New York Mets has shown that, yes, they can hit their stride. Yes, they can win regular season games. But what will happen down the stretch? Obviously, they have a lot of ground to make up with Atlanta being the great baseball team that Atlanta is right now. The Mets are still 6 games back of the division, and Atlanta seems to be on a roll. And not to make this whole thing about Atlanta, because the Mets have been playing great baseball, and they are undefeated since calling up one of their prospects, Mark Venitos, who has been quite the catalyst.
I think it's Venitos,
Venitos, Pish Posh.
Pish
Posh. But I will say that him and all the other young Met players have been quite the catalyst. And definitely, especially Francisco Alvarez, who I have avidly been against.
Got to give him credit where credit's due.
Got to give him credit where credit's due, exactly. He's been definitely playing above what I expected out of him.
Yeah, his last 15 games, 271, 968 OPS, 4 homers, 9 RBIs. He's been good. He's been that Mets catcher that they haven't really had in the last couple of years. You got Nito, and last year they had McCann. They hated him. But he could be the Mets catcher of the future. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, we'll see what goes on with that. Brett Beatty, from the Mets fans that I've talked to, I say it almost gives you young David Wright vibes. Not to put the label on him early, but just seeing a young, stocky dude standing over in the hot corner, making some good plays, and just getting a hit when it's needed. Not so much of this, I don't even want to say old generation, but this current generation of third basemen that are power hitters. We're not seeing that out of Brett Beatty when we know that he has power. And now they obviously bring up Mark Venitos, however you say it, who it looks to just be another young stud. So the Mets have, I think it's safe to say, on their 3 prospects, and this is my first time saying this, I think they've gone 3 for 3 so far in their prospects.
Yeah, all 3 have been good. They've all been catalysts. They're all kind of almost...
They needed it.
They needed them to start playing well, and they really, really have in the last few games. Obviously, Pete Alonso's been the big spark. He's just kind of getting it done when it needs to get done. He had that walk-off homer last week. He had the grand slam. He did some questionable things this weekend in celebration.
As much as I love Pete Alonso and how much I want him to win an MVP this season, he's such a cornball at times that it's like, dude, you can't be doing it. And now he's embracing it and he's doing it as his celebration in the dugout.
Pete,
bad luck.
Pete, it's just it's
not for you.
It ain't it. It's not for anyone.
Yeah.
It's not for anyone.
Not for anybody.
It's very questionable behavior from Pete Alonso, and I personally am very uncomfortable watching it. It's hilarious, but it's very not fun to watch. I don't enjoy watching him do that. If you don't know,
I enjoy watching him hit the homers more.
If you don't know what we're talking about, he did it twice this weekend.
He did.
He did some very questionable things to the railing at the Mets dugout. That's all I'll say. Can't use the word I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
But yeah, some very questionable actions from Pete Alonso. But he's playing good baseball, and he leads baseball in home runs. He has 16 right now, so
and
good for him, I guess. I love Pete.
The one game that I really want to talk about is their first game against the Guardians, the 10-9 victory, the walk-off in extra innings.
Crazy game.
Clase blowing the save was not something I expected from him so early in the season. All of last season, he only had 4 blown leads. And then this season, now he's already up to 5. Pretty disheartening if you're a Guardians fan.
And he's been really good this season, too.
Yeah, he has, but when he just doesn't hit his spot, it shows. And I said at the time when I watched this game, I was watching this game all the way through, that last inning for the Mets, that offensive inning, was the definition of baseball. Like, if I were to introduce someone to baseball for the first time, I think I would show them just that inning between the pitching and, like, being this high-leverage reliever that's supposed to be one of the best in the game. And he comes in, he gets an out, but then the young Mets come around and they put it together. They move the chains. That's the pure definition of baseball. And it was gorgeous. It looked great.
Yeah, it was nice. I see what you're saying. Just if you want to watch good baseball, that was very good baseball.
That was baseball perfection, in my opinion. That's exactly how I imagine a team like the Mets, who obviously are not known for being the big bad bats, the big power bat Mets. They're not that team. The way that they got it done was, in my opinion, the perfect way for that team.
Yeah. No,
what are you looking up?
No, just because I still, while yes, they are on a 5-game win streak, I still think they have some work to do.
Plenty.
Because yes, you got your good outings out of Scherzer and Verlander, which Verlander, he had that one bad outing in his first start in Citi Field, but overall not bad. He hasn't had, he's not looking like Scherzer. Scherzer's been very worrisome recently, so I hope this start was a sign of things to come rather than an outlier kind of in his season, because up to this point he has not been really good. Since dating back to last August, he hasn't been great. Because their pitching is still 25th in the league in ERA. They're starters, and their bullpen is 19th in ERA. And not to mention the first game of that doubleheader, David Robertson came in and gave up a 2-run home run to Jose Ramirez. They almost blew that game. So if it weren't for the offense, they would have lost that game. So I'm still worried about their pitching. But Is this the Mets turnaround? I'd say yes, they're going to start winning a lot more games. But in terms of catching the Braves, I don't think so. We just saw the Braves win 2 of 3 against the Mariners. They're currently playing the Dodgers. They lost the first game, but it was still a close game. It was 8-6, I believe, the final. And then their schedule after this Dodger series this week, the Phillies, who have been bad. Then you have Oakland and Arizona away, who I'd say that the Braves are better than both those teams. And then they play the Mets. So in a couple weeks, they do play the Mets. I think up to that point, I don't think the Mets are going to gain ground on them, per se. But I think the Mets will not fall too far behind during that time. So I think the East is going to start getting interesting now. I think this is kind of, yes, a turning point for the Mets. I don't think they're going to drop below 500 again. So that's just what I think. I don't think the Mets will be 500 at all for the rest of the season.
You're saying that as they're 500 right now.
They are not 500 right now. They are 25 and 23, so they're 2 games over.
That. That's on me. My apologies. My apologies.
Yeah, they're 2 games over 500. I don't think they drop below 500 again this season. So, and obviously the Braves, they're a very good team. They're not slowing down per se anytime soon. So, looking forward to seeing that rivalry kind of spark even more, because there's one guy on the Braves that is having quite the season so far.
Okay, well, time out. Want to just put in one more thing about Scherzer, Verlander, and then we can move on to that.
Go on.
Verlander and Scherzer, they need to learn how to snowball off of each other, because it's been a while since they've been in the same rotation and all that, which is it's obviously not concerning. It's not the right word. It's cool to see that they're back in the same rotation, that the Mets have this 1-2 punch. They just need to learn how to snowball it correctly, where Verlander is obviously, I think, the clear number 1 guy now. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Who cares that Scherzer has been there an extra year? Verlander's the better pitcher. Just plain and simple. There's no other way to say it. If there's a way where Verlander can go out there and shut down an offense one night, Scherzer should be able to do the exact same thing. Between how demoralizing it is for an offense to be shut down, as well as the fact, like, oh my god, and we're going up against another Hall of Fame caliber pitcher tomorrow, and Scherzer has just as good of stuff if he can find it again. There needs to be a way that they snowball starts together, and it starts with 2. Verlander, Scherzer one time, and then if they just keep doing that, especially with how bad the rest of their rotation is, they'll figure it out. And I think that's a key part to the Mets going on a big win streak.
Well, I think from here, the Mets' key thing should be, they've both pitched on the same day, because this was the issue I'd argue before, the doubleheader, because obviously Scherzer's start got pushed back. Scherzer was ahead of Verlander in the rotation. So you're having Scherzer, I see what you're saying with snowballing, but I think when you even said it, Verlander is their number 1 now. You have to have your number 1 pitch before your number 2. So getting Verlander ahead of Scherzer in that rotation, you can't really just do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I don't know if after this doubleheader, now that they've both pitched on the same day, if they do plan on, Verlander gets the next start and then Scherzer gets the next start, which I think is the better option. Because Verlander, I think that snowball effect is more likely to happen when you have Verlander pitching the first night and then Scherzer pitching the second night. Yeah. I think that's kind of more likely to have that snowball effect.
For sure.
In my opinion.
There's no question about it, in my opinion, especially now that they had an off day on Monday today. That since they have an off day, that this next start on Tuesday should be Verlander's. Verlander should be getting the ball, really put it into the
Tuesday?
Mets. Well,
tomorrow? Today?
Tomorrow. Today, the day of this releasing.
Well, they pitched on Sunday, so they're not pitching on Tuesday.
Oh my god, you're right. I'm sorry. Oh my god.
I'm like, what are you talking about? They had 2 days rest.
Yeah, that's on me. But even then, next time since they're on the same schedule now, give Scherzer the extra day. Obviously, he hasn't been the same Scherzer for a little while now that we all remember him to be. Verlander looks to be trending in the right direction. Give Scherzer an extra day of rest. Verlander is a competitor. He's going to want to go out there.
I also think there's less problem with giving Scherzer another day of rest because he was on a couple extra days rest a couple starts ago, and he's missed a couple days here and there just to be on a couple days extra rest. So I don't think he's going to have too much of a problem with that. Now that Verlander is going, you don't want to have him delayed starts. You want him to just continue to go. So I think it will be easy for the Mets to do that. Hopefully that is what they wind up doing. I think that's the smart move.
Yes.
Back to what I was saying about the Braves. There's one guy on the Braves who is just putting together a phenomenal season so far, and it's Ronald Acuna Jr. Ronald Acuna Jr. is kind of unstoppable. He's doing what he did in 2019. He's turning back into that Ronald Acuna Jr., the one we know and love. Through 47 games this season. Yes, we're already 47 games in. How that happened, I don't even know.
It doesn't feel real.
He's batting .342 with a 1.028 OPS. He's got 11 homers, 14 doubles, 27 RBIs, 27 walks, just 30 strikeouts, and 19 stolen bases, which is insane. The guy, I want to calculate his on-pace numbers, what he's on pace for. I haven't got the chance to do it yet, but I can tell you off the bat, it is very good. If he continues to keep this up, he's on pace for one of the greatest seasons we've seen in a while. So, Ronald Acuna Jr., clap it up for Ronald Acuna Jr. I believe after tonight, he's on I want to say 15-game hit streak or 13-game hit streak, somewhere like that. He's just continues to get on base, and every time he gets on base, he steals. Like tonight, or in the first game of the series against the Dodgers, he stole third base on a walk, which is so bold.
That's the most Ronald Acuna Jr. thing I think I've ever seen. Fun, young guy who just has all the talent in the world, just showing it off like that is amazing.
It's great. It's flashy. It's smart baseball. It shows IQ. Yep. Not only can he hit the ball, but he can be smart while he's running the bases. I think it's awesome. I love it. I love Ronald Acuna Jr. I'm glad he's putting together a bounce back, really, really good season so far. So
yeah, well, although he did play last season, you could tell that the Braves, although the Braves are a great organization, no matter what you hear from anybody, they sort of rushed him back a little bit because it's hard to not have a guy who could very easily be 40-40 while batting over 300 in your lineup. It's a difficult thing to replace. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's why they kind of maybe rushed him back a little bit, tried to make sure that he got back quicker. However, now that he's had a full offseason and more importantly a full spring training to ramp up, I think that this is just the best version of Acuna that is only getting started now. If you check back in a couple of months, I feel like we could be talking about him running away with the MVP.
Yeah, he's dangerous.
He's so dangerously good, and it's just great to see. It's so much fun to watch.
Yeah. I'm excited for the rest of the series against the Dodgers, too, for the Braves. Game 1, obviously, they lost. And then there was that, I guess, we said it was like benches clearing. They didn't actually clear the benches. Marcell Ozuna apparently just, I haven't seen it other than the one time it was showed on air, or rather the one time it was showed on that replay. But apparently he kept hitting Will Smith on his backswing, and Will Smith was just like, all right, dude, what are we doing here? So I'm interested to see if, like, tomorrow night, or in the second game of the series, which would be tonight, I'm interested to see if he does it again. Could you imagine he just keeps fucking hitting Will Smith with his backswing? Then it would become a Ozuna from the Braves, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen there because Ozuna, like, all big leaguers are really smart and respectful of each other.
He wasn't on purpose.
Yeah, obviously not, but I feel like if anybody were to be like, hey, why is he saying anything to me? Like, it shouldn't matter to him. It would be Marcell Ozuna, and he would try to go out of his way. Not to say that I think that Ozuna should do it. I think that it's something that that the media will blow up to be more than it should be. And I'm all about keeping it tame.
Will Smith was not happy about it.
Yeah, but
Will Smith was very annoyed.
I think that that's just like over and over and over again. Yes, like it would annoy you if someone kept hitting you over and over and over again.
Right, but if it happens tomorrow, will he be like, bro, what the fuck
I think
are you
he
doing?
will.
So do I.
I think that we're gonna see like him just be like, either what the fuck is going on? Why are you doing this? Or we're gonna just get an immediate ejection. Like, the umpires are going to be aware of the situation now. I guarantee you the MLB is going to update the umpiring crew for this series on it, and then we'll see what goes on there. Last thing I want to see, Dodgers retaliation and throw at Ozuna.
They're not going
or
to.
the Dodgers hitters swinging too far and hitting Sean Murphy. That would be the most classless thing, and that's obviously not who the Dodgers are, so I think that they're going to steer away from that, but we'll see what goes on.
No, that's not going to happen. It's not even one of those situations. There's no bad blood between the team. It's more of just like, imagine like someone was like I don't even know, standing in front of you going like this, but they didn't realize they were like hitting you every time. You're going to get it. It's not their fault, but you're going to get annoyed.
Right.
So like, you know, I don't know. I don't think it's a team thing necessarily. I think it's just more of like Will Smith being like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Which I don't know. I just found that whole situation pretty funny.
It was very funny.
It is pretty funny. It basically just Ozuna just keeps literally hitting hitting Will Smith with his bat, and he's just like, I've had enough.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But yeah,
whatever.
Mets, Braves, Dodgers. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the series. Obviously, Dodgers have already won the first game. Tomorrow, the starters for the rest of this series looks like Brad. Oh yeah, Bobby Miller. He's making his first career start. Mm-hmm. This is actually pretty big. Tomorrow, so Tuesday, second game of the series. Major League Baseball's 19th overall prospect rather, and the Dodgers' number 1 overall prospect, Bobby Miller, is going to make his Major League debut on the Tuesday, second game of the series, against the Braves. So that's actually going to be fun to see, and not only that, but he's going against Spencer Strider, so that's going to be fun for him, because if he's pitching really well, we know Spencer Strider's probably also going to be pitching really well, so that should be fun to see. Game 3 is Tony Gonsolin versus Bryce Elder, and then is there a Game 4 in the series? Do they play on Thursday?
You tell me. Are you looking?
They do not play on Thursday, so that's the pitching matchup for the rest of the series.
So
I'm excited to see Bobby Miller, though.
As am I. I do want to mention though that him getting called up right now is not anything but the Dodgers just need someone to eat innings.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't say eat innings.
Well,
they just need They need a start.
Yeah.
Urias.
Because since getting called up last year from AA to AAA, his numbers have really fallen off, and I don't know why. It's a little concerning. However, if there were to be anybody in baseball to all of a sudden just become a great major league pitcher, and there's no other person than Bobby Miller right now, especially with Mark Pryor being the pitching coach, and we've seen what he's done for guys. That's why Noah Syndergaard signed there this offseason. Like, people...
Although, Noah Syndergaard...
Well, that's why he signed there. I'm not saying that it's paid off.
Right.
We saw Andrew Heaney have a resurgence last year. He looked really good. It's just something about the Dodgers and the way that they coach at the major league level that makes it really enticing to see a guy like Bobby Miller, who has not really found his footing in AAA, all of a sudden now he's coming up to the majors, where there's a chance that I think we see him go a good 4 innings. I don't think they're going to stretch him too far. I don't think they're going to push him.
Unless he's pitching really well.
Yeah, unless he's pitching really... If he has no earned runs after the 4th inning, I think then they go inning by inning. But in an ideal spot, the Braves get to a young pitcher early, or the Braves have never seen this young pitcher who throws 100 miles an hour and has one of the most disgusting sliders I think I've ever seen in terms of rotation, like the ball rotation going towards the plate. It's just next level. And this guy just absolutely shuts down one of the best offenses in baseball. There's a world where both happens, and I don't think there's a middle ground. So we'll just have to wait and see.
All right. Yeah, the Dodgers have gotten really unlucky recently with their starting pitching. Dustin May went down on...
Scared the hell out of me.
I mean, yeah, lucky that it was... I don't think it's anything as bad as it could have been. I don't know how long he's out. Strained flexor. I really don't know how long he's going to be out, but he goes down on Thursday, and then Julio Urias goes down on Friday. So they literally have, if you're not counting Bobby Miller, 3 starters right now. Tony Gonsolin, Noah Syndergaard, and Gavin Stone. So
and Kirsch.
And Kirsch. Although is Kirsch...
He's He's off the.
Is he on leave right now?
Yeah, for his mother's funeral, which.
Okay,
You know,
well, and
sorry
Kirsch.
about that,
Although Kirsch did get beat up. He only I believe against the Cardinals only went 3 2/3 innings, which considering how good he's been this year, that's a very bad start. So I don't know. We'll see. Dodgers could be in a little bit of trouble, which is interesting because the Diamondbacks are not backing down. The Diamondbacks are still going. They are still, quite honestly, one of the best teams in baseball right now. I mean, going based on record and just their division that they're in and how they've been able to keep up with these teams, like I feel like a lot of people definitely did not predict them to. Has been really impressive. I mean, this weekend they played against who they play against this weekend?
The Pirates.
Yeah, the Pirates this weekend. And they won. They lost the second game, won the first game. Lost the first game, won the second game. My apologies here. I just don't know the order in which these happened, and then won the third game. So they've still been keeping up with the Dodgers. Right now, they're only 1.5 games back after the Dodgers won tonight. They're playing the Phillies. They also won tonight, or rather, they won the first game of the series against the Phillies. I'm still buying on the Diamondbacks. I'm still buying. They're giving me no reason not to. Their hitting has been incredible.
It has.
We said it last time. They're 4th in batting average as a team, 8th in OPS. They can run. They can hit. Gurriel's doing good.
Corbin Carroll has just been nothing short of amazing.
Corbin Carroll's been very, very good. He's been exactly what they want, that good mix of power, contact, speed. He's kind of doing it all.
And Evan Longoria is just making that team so much more entertaining. When you watch him in the dugout and you hear how the players talk about him,
he's that
makes
veteran.
sense.
Veteran presence.
He's the good player-coach veteran that the young Diamondbacks needed. It's just so entertaining to see.
Yeah, this team's just really fun to watch. That Gurriel trade has paid off tons for them. I mean, he's batting .304 this season. He's got, I believe, 8 homers now because he homered tonight. Or homered in game 1, rather. And he's been, honestly, the MVP of this team so far this season. Mm-hmm. It's kind of gone under the radar as well. So Dominic Fletcher just came up. He's doing really good so far. Their pitching hasn't been phenomenal, but their offense has just been so good that it's made up for it. So I'm liking it, and I think how long do they stay in this race with the Dodgers?
The whole season.
For the division, you think they will?
There's a world in which it happens.
But I'm not asking, what world are we in?
I want to say that we're in that world based on how they've been going, and one part of the reason why I say that is Zach Gallen, who we know has been phenomenal. His last start was his typical blow-up start where everything has been going so well for so long, and all signs were kind of pointing to maybe him having a bad start because he got figured out by the Marlins and the Giants in his last 2 starts. However, his offense really picked it up for him and got him the win. Game on the 19th of May against the Pirates, he got absolutely rocked. 3 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 8 runs, 5 of them earned, 4 walks to 2 strikeouts. Zach Gallen, we've seen it. We even saw it last year and the year before that. There are these moments where he has these blow-up starts, and then he comes back and hits his stride again of, I'm going to break that scoreless innings record again. I'm going to go out there and be dominant again. And it would not surprise me if that's the version of Zach Gallen that we're going to get moving forward for a while, which will keep them in the race. So when Gallen, or knock on wood that he doesn't, of course, but if he does have another breakdown set of games, the Diamondbacks can keep themselves in the race. Because their success is very reliant on Gallen taking that hill every 5 days. And locking it down as we know him to.
I would agree with that. Kind of give the offense a break if they have a bad night. It's a good break there. So we'll see. I'm all in on the Diamondbacks.
As am I.
I'm saying they won't back down.
Pushing all the chips in.
I would love to see them win the division. That would be what a turn of events that would be.
That would be amazing. Dodgers, Padres, going into the season. Who do we think will win? The Diamondbacks.
Well, I'll tell you, it's definitely not the Padres because the Padres are currently 21-26. They're 8 games back of first place. They're 4th in the division. Manny Machado just went on the IL for the first time since 2014.
He needed to.
Well, he did need to, but that doesn't change the fact that he's on the IL for the first time since 2014. He has the hand injury. It's not looking good in San Diego right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing the Nats in Washington this week. So hopefully Juan Soto can have like 8 home runs in those 2 games. Hopefully they can win those games because those are the teams that you need to be winning games against. But it's really interesting, man. The Padres just can't seem to put it together, and I think obviously most of it is their. I don't even know who to blame it on. It's just the whole team. The team as a whole is just not playing good at all.
The thing about the Padres is I think everyone in their lineup, if you've watched their games, have Juan Soto syndrome, including Juan Soto, where they think that taking the walk is a better idea in every situation and trying to work the zone perfectly. And Soto has been doing that for his whole career. And from time to time, it bites him in the ass. And we see it time and time again. Soto goes 0 for 4, 0 for 5, especially in a Padres uniform, because he's not swinging the bat. We know Juan Soto, if he swings the bat and acts like the kid that we all saw come up and win a World Series in his rookie year, if he acts like that Juan Soto, then I think the offense of this team completely turns around. But the fact that, like, especially him, because we know him to be one of the greats in this lineup, is considering that he's not swinging the bat as much as he should because he's just hunting for walks, is really, really bad for their offense. And it does not help whatsoever.
I mean, agree to disagree. He's still getting on at a 400 clip. So he's still getting on base. Almost a majority of his at-bats. I think it's a lot of the guys around him, too. I don't think you're blaming... yes, Soto, when he's hitting good, they're obviously a better team.
No, I agree with you on the whole team.
But, Xander Bogaerts has cooled off significantly.
Yeah.
Jake Cronenworth is a guy they just extended in the offseason. He's batting .211 this season. Mm-hmm. He's doing nothing. Obviously, Manny Machado just went down. And then who else do they have?
Nando.
well, Nando aside, Nando's been good.
Yeah.
Nando has been good. But then, the bottom half of that lineup now, especially now that Machado's not there, Matt Carpenter batting 211. Ha-Seong Kim batting 236. Rougned Odor hitting 175. Austin Nola hitting 146. Trent Grisham hitting 186. Brett Sullivan hitting 189. Nelson Cruz hitting 250, which he's actually been a bright spot. It's like no one else is going to hit besides those guys. And, it's just... the Padres are very top-loaded, and it's not working out for them right now. So they need something to get back on track, not to mention their pitching hasn't been great either. Blake Snell just can't even pitch anymore.
Yeah, it's a bad look because everyone going into this season was like, hey, if they act like the young and hungry Padres, which some of them are still like the young, hungry bunch, but everyone kind of got paid except for Soto, and they don't really have that same energy, that same flair that we saw last season. But you would think that it would snowball. Like, hey, guys, we were just in the NLCS. Barring the Phillies being the hottest team in baseball, it was the Padres' World Series appearance to lose, especially after beating the Dodgers. If I were the Padres in that situation, you're thinking, no one's taking this away from us. We're going to go all the way. We're going to get to the World Series at least, and that's 7 games, max. Anything can happen. It's baseball.
But I don't think it's...
And now they come into this season, and they are stumbling time and time again, and they're not backing up everything that they've been saying, everything that you've been reading, and everything that you're expecting. And they're not backing it up, and that's a massive issue for the Padres.
But I don't think it's just mindset. I think it's also play. I don't think the second they start going having that good mindset. I don't think they're all going to go to the moon. I mean, you got Rougned Odor starting at second for you every day. I mean, I don't know what you're expecting.
I don't understand why Hassan Kim's not starting at second.
Well, Machado's down now, so.
Oh, well, true. Now they have him.
Yeah. So, it's just they're in a bad spot right now. I don't necessarily think it has much to do with the fact that they're all paid, except Soto. I just think no one's really playing well. I think that's literally, you take it as literal as possible. They're just not playing well. Which is an issue. Soto's been good recently. Tatis has been good since coming back. Bogarts has cooled off. Cronenworth has been nothing. Even before he went on the IL, Machado wasn't doing that great.
Yeah, he was breaking my heart.
I don't know. It's just a lot of bad play all around. There's nothing really you can pin it on other than just they're not playing good.
Yeah, someone needs to go into that locker room and just actually light a fire under all their asses.
Okay.
Because if I'm the Padres, if I'm like someone in that front office who helped construct this team, I'm pissed off. This team should not, on paper, should be running away with the best record in baseball. With the conversation of will they break a win record, for the first half of the season, for the entire season. On paper, they're that good. And the fact that no one is even performing close to that level of what everyone expects out of them and what everybody knows they're capable of, they're sitting fourth in the division. It's embarrassing.
Almost fifth. They're almost dead last. It's embarrassing, and something needs to click with the Padres sooner rather than later, because you would hate to see, for baseball, this young and exciting team with all these faces and names and energetic guys not be in the playoffs, where there's so many more eyes on the game of baseball. Yeah, it's just a tough spot. They just lost 2 of 3 of the Red Sox, which you said you really liked that series. What'd you like about it?
I liked the Red Sox side of it. They came alive. They looked very good. Devers was just being the guy that everybody remembered him to be. He really, I don't want to say turned it around because he's been very good this whole season. The thing that I dove into more was the Padres just need to make some sort of change in their pitching staff, their lineup, or their coaching. It's one of the three. It's the 3 big things of a baseball team. Something needs to give. If that means skipping a start for one of your starters to be like, hey, take the extra time to get ready, or hell, move one of your big guys down in the lineup and tell them they're not getting back up until they start performing. Or, maybe it is Bob Melvin and the coaching staff making the wrong decision at times. I cannot tell you for sure.
Padres fans, let us know what you think is the biggest issue with your team right now. Let us know what you think needs to be fixed. Just let us know what you think. I mean,
let's do it for 5 seconds to go type a comment right now.
All right. But yeah, that's the Padres. They're just play better. Come on. I was really excited about the Padres, and now I'm just like,
we both were.
I'm still excited about the guys, but like only 3 of them right now. I'm only excited about Machado, Tatis, and Soto, and 2 of them are injured. I mean, one of them is injured. So
and Bogarts is just.
Yeah, I wasn't really excited about Bogarts. I mean, he definitely added to the dynamic of the team, but like just my personal players that I love, the Machado, Soto, Tatis are right up there. So
hard not to love Machado, man.
Yeah, so that's really the NL West. It's just kind of the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks right now. That's all it really is.
Yeah, go Snakes.
Yeah, moving to the AL West, there's a team brewing, a storm's coming.
They're like the Freeze from the Braves.
Yeah,
they're like the Freeze. They give everybody else a head start. And then they start chucking.
If you don't know who we're talking about the Houston Astros.
The big bad Astros.
Who are now, after having a very bad start to the season for them, they're 28-19. They're just 1 game back of first place from the Rangers. They are on an 8-game winning streak. Jose Altuve is back. Framber Valdez just threw a complete game shutout. They just won Game 1 in Milwaukee, 12-2. Yordan Alvarez is playing like, honestly, like he could become this generation's most feared hitter, like just like Big Papi was back then. Just everything's going right for the Astros now, and I said it. I think this is the point where the Astros win. They're like 10 straight. They're 11 straight, or however many it takes them. I think this is where the Astros get hot, and then they just never look back. They turn into the Astros that we know, and it's actually happening. So I said it at the beginning before they played Oakland last week. I was like, they just swept the Cubs. They're about to get set on fire. They are in a good way. Yeah, they are going to become the hottest team in baseball, and that's exactly what
they're definitely charging up to become nuclear. I don't know how you felt, but we both went to the Astros spring training facility. We saw how they practiced. We saw how they trained. We also watched the game there. And it felt like genuinely the start to this season, based off of what I saw with how they played in spring training and what decisions were being made and how hard they were training, it genuinely feels like they just gave the rest of the league a head start, and now it's their time to hit the ground running.
Yeah, they just wanted to make it more fun.
Yeah.
It's that false sense of security.
It's now like that one SpongeBob episode, where Patrick and SpongeBob are running away from Sandy, and Patrick just fell. The Angels are, I think we can officially call them out of the AL West race.
I mean, only 4 games back.
Barring, but with how good the Rangers are,
they've won
how
2 in a
good
row.
Houston is now, the Mariners are even catching a little bit.
Mickey Moniak, man, that's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough. I think we've already seen the Angels lose to the Astros. They got pulled in. They're pulled under, and now the Rangers, man, they're running, and the Astros are right there on their tail. They're quite literally a couple of towns over.
I mean,
they're close.
You didn't even mention the Mariners either.
I just said the Mariners are catching a little bit of lightning in a bottle. Not going to discount them,
we'll
but
see.
They need to do a little bit more to prove to me that they're back in that race.
They just beat the Athletics, so they are one game up. So they're 5.5 games back now. It's kind of a dog. It's kind of gonna. It seems like it could turn into a dogfight. But with the Astros being as hot as they are right now, it could be a situation like Astros by this time next week have like a 2-game lead in first place, and then the other 3 teams, the Rangers, Angels, and Mariners, are all fighting for that second place or that wild card spot. You know what I mean? Could turn into something like that.
Totally.
The Angels have Mickey Moniak, which is really all they need to win baseball games, because Mickey Moniak is...
No one else.
No one else. He's going to win the AL MVP this season, so that's...
Okay.
I mean...
Okay, let's
Mickey Moniak's been on cloud 9, man. You're going to make me pull up his stats now.
Okay, but let's be real.
You could talk about who you want to talk about.
The Angels also have the best player on the planet.
You talk about him, and then I'll talk about
whether or not you want to believe it, whether or not you think he deserves an MVP.
Amazon.
Shohei Ohtani is just the best player on the planet, and he's amazing in every way that I could possibly describe it. I feel like it's become custom to see him perform at this level when this is once in a generation, once in a lifetime type of thing. It's crazy to see. It's bizarre. There's nothing like it. And I am genuinely just happy to say that we get to watch a guy who has a 142 OPS plus and also a 3 ERA pitch and hit. It's amazing. It blows my mind. I never would have thought that I would see something like this in my generation. He's amazing.
All right, well,
I think we have to note how good Shohei Ohtani is as a player as much as we can, because this is once in a generation.
Just
flip me off?
No, rub my eye.
No.
Yeah, as much as that's cool and all, like, I love Shohei Ohtani, don't get me wrong. Mickey Moniak, in 9 games this season, has a 1.341 OPS, 3 homers, 2 doubles, a triple, 6 RBIs, a walk, 2 steals. Mickey Moniak, don't sleep on him. Former, what was he, number 1 overall pick? I think he was. Yeah, number 1 overall pick in 2016. God. So don't sleep on the kid. But yeah, no, in all seriousness, Ohtani is absolutely insane. Yeah. We have to give you that, your weekly reminder that Shohei Ohtani is a generational talent, and if you don't watch him that often, you're messing up, because this will not be seen for a long time. Something like this will not be seen for a long time.
Agreed.
So yeah.
Agreed. And of course, don't forget to tune in to watch Mike Trout too. Mike Trout is just as
also a generational talent. No?
Mike Trout? Oh yeah, for certain. There's
you fell silent.
Yeah, I did not think that you were talking to me. I thought that you were going to say something. Yeah, Mike Trout, also a generational guy. They're both amazing. I wish the Angels could win with both of them. They both deserve to hoist the Commissioner's Trophy just as much as anybody else in baseball.
Yeah, there's a generational talent that I wanted to talk about, too. A little unrelated. We're moving to the NL East again. So, Trey Turner.
Mr. Captain America.
Captain America this year has done the complete opposite of what everyone has expected him to do. After dominating in the World Baseball Classic, he has fell silent in his first few weeks with the Phillies, which is wild. I have the most wild stat that I found this week, the most wild stat I think I've seen in a long time. In 6 games in the World Baseball Classic, Trey Turner hit 5 home runs and had 11 RBIs. In 44 games this season, Trey Turner has 4 home runs and 10 RBIs. So, Trey Turner, man. Now he has 11 RBIs, so at least he's, caught up a little bit.
What are we doing?
But it's 46 games now, too. So, Trey Turner has not been at all what the Phillies have wanted. He's still batting .256, which feels like a miracle because none of his play has been like that. I just kind of want to... This has nothing to do with teams. This is just specifically a Trey Turner conversation because I feel like... I feel like this guy could win an MVP at any point, and he is playing like the complete opposite right now. 46 games, he's got 56 strikeouts, which is so not Trey Turner. I believe his whiff rates have gone up. He's just swinging and missing a lot more than he used to.
He's not seeing the ball well.
Yeah, which is concerning, especially for the Phillies, who just signed this guy to an 11-year contract. You want to be seeing a little bit different results than this. Trey Turner, man. I just wanted to kind of highlight that because I want him to get back on track as much as anyone. So I'm really hoping he can. And especially with how the Phillies have started this season, you just go to the World Series, you go on this magical Cinderella run, you don't really lose anyone.
Yeah, you show your fan base that you're even going to buy into the thought of, we just made the World Series, let's go do it again.
Yeah,
you bolster your lineup in
spend $330 million on Trey Turner. $300 million, whatever. Yeah. It's money. At that point, money's just a thing. You don't worry about it. It's just a thing.
We're not going to get money, real talk.
But I don't know. It's wild. Yeah, they went in and it's just not working out at all. They lost Rhys Hoskins, but besides that
hurt so much. Bryce Harper coming back is always a good sign. He's one of the best hitters in baseball.
But since then, they haven't gone...
Right, they haven't done anything.
It hasn't helped them all that much.
And it doesn't help that their pitching is really not as much as we expected it to be.
It's nothing.
Has it been, or what it has been in the past few years. Aaron Nola has a 4.3 ERA. Zach Wheeler has a 4 ERA. Taijuan Walker, they're signing that they brought in to be that number 3 guy, almost a 6 ERA. Oh my God, excuse me. Something's wrong, and they overhauled even their pitching staff entirely, and the only guy who's really showing that he was worth it was the guy that they already had, Jose Alvarado. Craig Kimbrell, Gregory Soto have just been duds, I think it's fair to say right now. And I really hope that one of them is listening to this because...
Alvarado's on the IL right now.
Yeah, so. They need a fire to be lit under them because we know them to be much better ball players and much better relief pitchers than what they're showing us right now. So figure it out because the pitching staff, I think, is the bigger problem right now.
Yeah.
How's that?
Nick fucking Castellanos. Sorry.
It's okay.
He's putting together a good season, so I just wanted to scream his name because I don't even know. I just wanted to say Nick Castellanos' name.
You know who else is doing
Throw his name in the mix. Kyle Schwarber's got sneakily 12 home runs this season. So.
Yeah, he's started to pick it up a little bit. You know who else has been doing well this season, who I'm happy to see?
Who?
Jesse Winker out with the Brew Crew. No homers yet, but... He's batting .236. It just looks like he's seeing the ball well. He has 14 walks.
That .236, seeing the ball really well.
Well, no, yeah, he genuinely has been. I've been watching a lot of his at-bats, a lot of Brewers games in general, and I think Jesse Winker has been a very exciting guy to watch, and I could not be prouder to say that I think that he found his spot in Milwaukee as long as the bat picks up a little bit, I think that he should be there to stay. He's a very good ball player. Proud of Jesse Winker. I just want to highlight him a little bit.
Okay.
How's that? Where do you want to go from here? I've
done
us into a hole.
Yeah, I was going to say, the little weird spot you've put us in here. But let's move to the AL East. The one division I believe we haven't really gotten far into. Actually, there's two more places we have to go. I think that should round us out to our players of the week. But the AL East we'll get into first. The American League East is just a dogfight as it's been all season. Every team is above 500. The Blue Jays are currently in last place in the division at 25-23. They're still every team is better than the AL Central, so or even or better than the AL Central. The Yankees have been very good recently. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They just swept the Reds. They're playing Baltimore at home this week, which the Orioles have sneakily been the second best team in baseball this season. They have the second best record in baseball this season. 31 wins, 16 losses. They're 3 games back of the Rays, and the Rays have struggled recently. They lost the series to the Mets. The Brewers beat them up pretty well. Is it the Orioles' time to shine?
I wish I could say yes. However, the Orioles are quite literally living directly in the shadow of the Tampa Bay Rays right now. So it's not so much of what the Orioles can do, it's what can the Toronto Blue Jays do. What can the Tampa Bay Rays not do? Can teams find a way to consistently beat the Rays more than can the Orioles find a consistent way to keep winning ball games? I think that's what it boils down to right now because the Rays are just that good of a team. However, if there were to be one team that I think can figure out the Rays, it would be this young and gunning Orioles team that somehow this last weekend swept the Blue Jays. Jays, what the hell's going on, man?
Jays blew a lot of those games.
Yeah, they blew a lot of those games. They just could not hold it together for a full game, which sucks.
They're also just doing bad recently.
Yeah, and now the red hot Yankees are going to be hosting the arguable second best team in baseball.
Well, by record, second best team in baseball.
Yeah. It's going to be the series to watch this week. It's definitely going to be something that even if I'm doing something else, I'm going to have it on because, one, the Yankees have been very good as of late, and the Orioles have just been one step better. So which team is going to step up to the plate more? Which team is going to accept the big moment and try to dog out this series because it's going to be the series to watch, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the Rays are playing the Blue Jays, which, like I said, the Blue Jays have been not as good recently. So we'll see if the Rays can just rack up a few more wins. They're at home, too. I think I'm more in the boat of the Rays still aren't as good as they have been playing. Mm-hmm. I think I'm more in that boat than you are because.
Oh, I'm in there. I told them.
I don't know. I said to you. Earlier I said, just a couple of minutes ago, I said the Rays haven't been good recently, and you kind of gave me that look of yeah, but the Orioles aren't better than them. The Orioles last 2 weeks ago.
The Rays are more proven.
The Orioles 2 weeks ago beat them in a 3-game series. They won 2 of 3. Then the Rays lost two out of 4 to the Yankees. They lost 2 of 3 to the Mets, and then they beat 2 out of 3 for Milwaukee. But I don't think the Rays are what they're made out to be.
Suck. I said it to you. I said it on this podcast.
Yeah,
I said to you the Rays suck.
I don't know. I think just your reaction to how I said the Rays have struggled recently. It didn't seem like you were too convinced that the Orioles had any chance to even catch them. And living in their shadow, living in their shadow, yeah, but
that's quite literal. They are. There's no other way to say anything about that.
But I feel like the fact that they have beat them in a series this season already, they're not in their shadow. It's more of both teams are winning.
Okay,
it's literally both teams are winning. But would you say the Yankees are living in the Orioles' shadow because they're behind them in the standings?
But
I wouldn't say that.
We're talking about 2 teams that are not the biggest markets in all of the world, first off. Second off, literally it's as simple as for baseball writers, for anyone who does media, you look at the first place teams. You see who is the best in each division. So quite literally, until Baltimore takes a step in front of the Rays, there's no ifs, ands, or buts to say the Orioles are living in the shadow of the Rays. Because it would be different if it were the Rays and the Yankees. The Yankees are the biggest market in baseball. New York itself, or the Dodgers. Those two are just capitals for sports, those cities. So it makes sense that sports writers and entertainers and media members gravitate where they get more clicks. But right now, it's whoever's in first, because that will get you the most clicks. That'll get you the most interactions. That'll get you the most people looking at what you're putting onto paper.
Yeah, I get it. All right, whatever you say, Jose. You do you, Jose.
Thank you, Jose.
Well, why are the Tigers in second place in the AL Central?
The Tigers are just different.
Yeah.
The AL Central is not a good division to begin with, especially with how the Guardians have not been playing as well as they did all of last season. They've sort of lost a little bit of their magic, and the Twins have stepped up a little bit, and the Tigers are, I dare say, they're seeing an opportunity behind a fully ready-to-pitch Eduardo Rodriguez, who has been nothing short of amazing. Let's just keep it very, very real. He's been amazing so far for them, and he's been a big reason as to why the Tigers are staying in this race of the AL Central when it's not a good division in the first place.
Yeah, it's not a good division in the first place, so if there's any division to take advantages like that, it is the AL Central. They've also benefited a good bit from the fact that the Twins haven't played as good as they probably should either.
Yes.
The Twins lineup is really good, and their pitching staff is pretty good too. But yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. I was just looking at it. That's all I have to say. I want to talk about the other Central. I want to end this with the NL Central, and more specifically, the team that is in last place in the NL Central, or second to last place in the NL Central. I want to talk about the St. Louis Cardinals. The St. Louis Cardinals took 3 of 4 from the Dodgers this past weekend. A couple of the games convincingly, a couple a little closer. Obviously, they lost one. They are 11-4 in their last 15 games. They're now 21-28. They're only 5 games back of first place. I think, like I kept saying, I think the Cardinals they're back. I said it last time. You weren't fully convinced. You said, let's see how the Dodgers series goes. Mm-hmm. They took 3 of 4. Are you finally on my boat? Are you convinced?
I think the Cardinals World Series run is back on.
Back! They're back!
They're back. They're
Guardians
back from the dead.
Guardians?
We'll talk about that. Let them breathe a little bit. They're still in ICU. The Cardinals, though, I think they're trending in the right direction. Nolan Arenado obviously fixed with whatever was wrong with him, whether that be on the field, off the field injury or not. He has looked amazing, especially since that series in Boston a week ago or so now. Pittsburgh is faltering. They're starting to look more like the normal Pirates and not the outer space Pirates that came from a different planet to conquer all of the NL Central. And Milwaukee, we know how...
They've been very wishy-washy.
Yeah, and the top of the division, Milwaukee, we know how volatile they can be at the top. It's just a matter of time before the Cardinals figure it out completely, go on that win streak, that just stringing together win 3 out of 4 here, 2 out of 3 there, and just hope that the Milwaukee Brewers and the Pittsburgh Pirates just lose a game here and there. They will take advantage of it. The Cardinals will figure it out.
Well, that's what they're doing right now. I think they're winning their series, and that's all they can ask for. They lost a very heartbreaking loss in the first game of the series against the Reds. They got walked off on sac fly walk off in the 10th, which is a heartbreaking loss. But I think overall they're trending in the right direction. People kind of wrote them off, and at the same time we were saying, it's an 162-game season. You're writing them off after like the 30th game just because they haven't started out the way you expected them to start out.
Well, they started off historically bad.
I understand that, but it's a 162-game season, and it's not like it's the Pirates starting out this way. This is one of the best lineups in baseball. Yes, their pitching staff isn't great, but it's one of the best lineups in baseball. You can't write them off after the first 30, 35 games. I mean, I think that's kind of ridiculous.
I was so ready to write them off because of their pitching staff.
But with one of the best lineups in baseball, it's I don't think that's the right thing to do. And you know what? That's why I didn't. And that's why I believed in them before they won 3-4 in against the Dodgers at home.
You did.
And now they're 21-28. I think once they get over 500, they'll also be one of those teams that once they get over 500, they won't be going back under. I don't see a possible way. But I don't want to speak too soon, so we'll see.
Okay.
They have been carried very heavily by the Nolans on the team recently. Nolan Arenado in his last 7 games batting .310 with a .907 OPS. And Nolan Gorman in the last 7 games batting .429 with a 1.429 OPS. And then just those two have been very big in this team's offense. And yeah, clap it up for the Nolans. The Nolans of St. Louis.
The St. Louis Nolans.
St. Louis Nolans. What incredible. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens with the Cardinals. I'm very, very excited.
As am I.
I hope they can just continue to trend upward, Yep. Just continue to do your thing, especially with being, like we said, those central divisions are historically not as good as the East and West. So take advantage of you being in the Central and be able to make that comeback and prove a lot of people wrong.
Yeah.
So yeah, go Cardinals.
Go Cards.
Do you have anything else, Lewis?
As far as I'm concerned, I think that we have everything there.
Perfect. Shall we get to the players of the week?
Let's do it.
Let me play the soundbite. Players of the week. The players of the week. The players of the week. It's the players of the week. The players of the week. We're back. So this is for last week. All of last week. This is from the 18th of May to the 15th of May to the 21st of May. I have the NL. You have the NL. I have the NL. You have the AL. Pitcher, hitter. Do you want to go first? What do you want?
Let's start it. Let's get to the AL hitter of the week. Cut and dry. No other way to put it. It's Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees. 500 average. 1.893 OPS with 5 homers and 11 RBIs. Who cares if it was against Cincinnati?
Well, most of them are against the Jays.
Yeah, and the Blue Jays. Got to hand it to him there. But just Aaron Judge has been absolutely amazing at the plate since coming back from his little stint on the IL. And could not be happier to see Aaron Judge returning to that form that we saw last season.
Aaron Judge. Yeah, that was kind of the obvious pick, and it's not even like you can make a controversial pick. That is the clear-cut pick.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
He's playing like the MVP again, which is great to see.
He's on pace for 62 again.
There you go. Do you want me to go, or do you want to do the pitcher while you're at it?
No, let's do one-on-one.
All right, so my NL hitter of the week.
Oh.
I was having a lot of controversy with this.
Oh,
I could have made a very controversial pick, but I'm also going to go cookie cutter. I'll go with Nolan Gorman of the St. Louis Cardinals this week. 458 batting average, 519 on base, 1.519 OPS, 4 homers, 11 RBIs. And he did it against the Brewers and the Dodgers, so 2 pretty good teams on the pitching side of things. And yeah,
the Cardinals needed it against the Dodgers.
Big for the Cardinals, too. Yeah, so Nolan Gorman, there we go.
Clap it up.
Funny looking guy, but I love him. So, all right, Lewis, give us your pitcher, your AL pitcher of the week.
My AL pitcher, a little bit of an interesting pick, simply because you don't really know what went on with him for the most part. It was just a weird couple of starts for him this week. Framber Valdez of the Houston Astros had 2 starts. Totaled 15 strikeouts across those 2 starts. And also threw a complete game shutout in which he looked really good.
CG Shuddy.
However,
against the A's.
Yes. However, the start before that, he also went 4 innings, allowing 4 earned runs. But I think no matter what, when you throw a complete game shutout in a dominant way, as Framber Valdez just did, there's no way to shine away from it. And if the pitching staff is going to heat up, and Framber Valdez is obviously a big part of that pitching staff in Houston, there's no stopping the Astros, as we said earlier.
CG Shuddy warrants player of the week.
Yep.
Pitcher of the week.
Clap it up for Framber.
And on that Astros team to keep building momentum, so he's helping them do that.
Yeah, I've stood in the box against Framber Valdez. It is terrifying.
I'm sure you have.
It is terrifying.
So I'll go with my NL pitcher of the week to round out the episode. My NL pitcher of the week is Michael Wacha of the San Diego Padres. Waka. So he started 2 games, and they were, in fact, the only 2 games that the Padres won last week. He totaled 13 innings pitched, only 6 hits, no earned runs across those 2 starts, and he struck out 15 against the Royals and the Red Sox. So Michael Wacha, a struggling Padres team, can't put together too many wins, but they won both starts that Michael Wacha started this week. Clap it up for Michael Wacha. So the NL players of the week, Nolan Gorman and Michael Waka. And the AL players of the week,
Aaron Judge and Framber Valdez.
Clap it up for the players of the week.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Michael Wacha almost threw a no-hitter against the Royals. Was that
7 innings,
yeah.
11 strikeouts.
The notification got sent.
Yeah, the notification got sent.
So we can consider it almost a no-hitter.
All right, yeah.
Good for him.
You got anything else?
Shout out Fozzie Bear.
Shout out Fozzie Bear.
Shout out Dansby Swanson.
Shout out Adley Rushman.
Shout out Adley. And most importantly,
shout out Keeper Ruiz.
Shout out Keeper Ruiz, baby.
Wait, I have the ball. Keeper! But yeah. Anything else you have to say, Lewis, before we get out of here?
Not really.
It's 12:50 in the morning.
Yeah.
So we got to get out of here.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for watching, listening, viewing, and if you liked it, let us know in the comments. Drop a comment right now. Subscribe, follow, and tell your friends. That helps us out a lot. We appreciate you, and we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.
If you beat